What is up, everyone? I'm Skratch. Welcome to the channel. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video, and guess what, guys? Today we are not alone on the channel. We have the one and only, the myth, the legend, BigPoppaDrock, the king of free-to-play, the new king of free-to-play to be more specific. What's up, Drock? How are you doing, bro? Nice to finally have you on the channel.
The king of free-to-play, oh my god.
I actually practiced that introduction for the last 3 days. I was like, you know what? When I'm going to do the collab with Drock, I'm going to introduce him as the king of free-to-play, so he's going to have to live up to it, you know? Like, he's going to have to smash it now.
Oh god, from cracking to free-to-play. What's happened to me, Skratch? What's happened to me?
That's the whale game, you know? Like, after a while, you're tired of being the whale, because you've swimmed all the oceans, you know? You're gonna have to try something else. You gotta move to the seas, then to rivers, lakes, you know, and slowly just kind of like make your way down. But yeah, guys, make sure you head over and check out his channel. I'm gonna leave the link in the description down below in the pinned comment. Awesome content. He does a lot of live arena and tons of other sort of content as well. And in today's video, because why not, we're going to rank top 20 live arena champions from number 20 all the way to number 1. And this has been quite a bit of a hard one, because there's so many good champions, right? Like, you've been doing live arena pretty much every single day, Drock. And how would you say, just a bit off topic here, but how would you say that Mythical Champions affected live arena? Do you say that most of them kind of like took arena by surprise, you know?
It's a great question. You know, initially I think when they dropped, I didn't think they would be as powerful maybe as they've become. I think that some of the champions they've added since then are really good. But they've absolutely impacted live arena. Like, I see them constantly. They've been a lot more prevalent than they were initially. And the biggest thing is that there are several mythical champions that are really good. And then there are several mythical champions that you're just never going to see in high-end live arena because they're just honestly, frankly, quite bad. So yeah, you're definitely seeing them a lot more. They've impacted it for sure.
Yeah, I would assume so. Like, there's been such a long time without having a real counter for lockout champions, right? Warlord. He's been in the meta since I was a little kid, literally, since I remember it. Like, and then they added Yumeko, and yeah, we have Resistance Skymar. Then they added this, was it the Sacred Order champion, Glishea, which is kind of like, roll the dice.
She's supposed to be good, but she didn't really do what you needed her to do. And without a doubt, Mythicals are a much better counter to lockout than Glishea ever was.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I feel like, especially the few new ones that they've added recently, you know, a couple of them, they're like, wow, you know, like game-changing champions, and some of them super strong. So
yeah,
without further ado, guys, I feel like it's time to jump into it. We do have quite a few champions that haven't made the top 20, but we still think they're great. We're gonna give them a shout out at the end, just so you guys hear about them too, because they're awesome champions. But starting with number 20 champion, if you wanna take us over to rank 20 champion.
Yes,
Drock.
Absolutely. So let's go and jump into the Shadowkin.
The Shadowkin. It's a ninja.
Our girl, the Shadowkin. and you know what? It's got to be Lady Mikage. I think a lot of people sleep on this champion, especially in high level arena, because, you know, she's a free mythical. You're not sure, like, is she actually going to be good? But I will tell you now, Skratch, she is better than people realize for arena. She can absolutely be a really scary speed lead because of her ability to buff strip, as well as her ability to control. So really solid champion. And again, because she's a mythical, even if she is slower and gets locked out on that first form, her second form has some of those really powerful abilities. So she took me by surprise. I didn't think she would be this good for arena, but she is a lot better than I realized.
Yeah, I'll be very honest with you. I'm one of the people that underestimated her initially. So when they added the fusion, I looked at her and I was like, okay, what this champion would do on my account? Will I replace my Fire Knight team? No. Will I replace maybe my Hydra team? Or I was like, no. But then just kind of like looking more and more at her, I was like, she's actually just too good, you know? Like, I'm so glad that I finally got her the other day. I literally got her a few days ago, but decreases the duration of buffs, right? That doesn't get you polymorphed. You have increased attack. You have ally attack. I always wanted an increased attack, ally attack champion in the game. And then she does so many things with her other forms. Stun, thermometer manipulation, increase accuracy, remove buffs, weaken, you know? And
yeah,
the good part is that you have that flexibility to just change forms if you're getting locked and still get value out of the champion. So I definitely think that she is worth of being a top 20 champion 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, she's great. She's a great champ.
Let's move over to the next one. And the next one is probably the most annoying champion in the whole history of live arena, guys. And I'm curious if you agree with us. Let us know in the comments down below if you think the other champions should make the list, if you think the other champions should be moved around. I want to hear your opinion as well, because we are making this list based on our experience, based on what we're seeing in the very high-end live arena, you know. And the next one right here is Helicat, a past fusion champion. But boy, this guy can fill so many roles. Damage, support, right? Like, he's pretty awesome. Plus, he delays the fight that, honestly, you go make a cup of coffee, you come back, and he's still taking turns, you know?
He is my most hated champion in the entire game because he is so good. And I think also because of Polymorph, it's really, really hard to counter this champion. When you're putting up that block damage buff, you cannot strip it as easily without becoming a sheep. And when I tell you, Skratch, like when I see this champion, he is an auto ban for me. He is absolutely an auto ban. He does way more damage with his A1 than people realize counterattacking. And that block damage buff, again, you can't get rid of it. There's like, you're just stuck there. You're stuck trying to wait it out. You know what I mean? Or hoping you don't get sheep if you're going to try to, like, you know, strip it away. So just a terrifying champion, easily my most hated champion. But you know what? He's really, really good.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I've had so many painful fights versus him and with him in my team. A lot of people really don't realize that he can do damage, you know, like especially the A1 ignoring shield, bro. Like everybody running bolster and stuff, and then ignoring the block damage too in case of a Marichka, putting it up, you know, for whatever reason, is actually super solid, because if you build him for damage at the right speed and give him the right team around him, he can be your only damage dealer and slowly pick up the entire team, you know, honestly. And the shield, too many good things in his kit.
Absolutely. That A1 is filthy. It is filthy hit. It hits so hard.
And always counterattacking. So annoying. What we have next on the list, Doc?
I think we're heading over to the Skinwalkers faction.
Yeah.
Get a little Skinwalker action. We're gonna go with our boy Ragash.
Absolutely. The one I'm missing this champion, unfortunately.
I feel bad for you because he's pretty darn good, Skratch. I mean, the thing about Ragash is, first off, he hits so hard. He is able to buff himself with his own increased defense, which is great. He can control with stun. And I think something that's really underrated about his kit, not only the ability to increase your speed, which is so important in live arena, speed is king without a doubt. Yeah. But on top of that, he hides people with perfect veils. He can keep your team alive longer. He is definitely someone you see in top level arena all the time. Just a really, really good champion.
100%, man. And he's such a good counter against Harima too, because of the affinity, you know. And I feel like most of the times I get my ass whooped by Ragash, you know, if I was going with a team like that. The thing is, you won't have a lot of champions with polymorph that will have crazy high accuracy or anything to necessarily control him. And usually the champions that have such a low resistance, because you're not building him with accuracy, right? They won't really get you polymorph, because they're probably nukers, they have different sort of blessings. So yes, you can get him polymorph pretty often too, don't get me wrong, but most of the times this stun won't really mess you up, you know.
Yeah, it's not something that you see super often. It really just depends on how someone has built their team to counter you. But obviously, you know, if you land that decreased defense and that stun at the same time, you are just devastating people. And the fact that if you have more defense on him than the enemy, he gets a 20% damage boost.
Yeah.
I mean, that is nasty on Harima, and it's nasty also on Duchess.
Yeah, on most of these champions. He's a solid one. The good thing about these champions is that defense-based, HP-based champions, they're so much better in live arena than in classic arena, because it's easier to keep them alive, and they make such a big difference, man. They make such a big difference, you know. It's crazy.
Absolutely. Actually. It's crazy how that's changed. Like having defense nukers being the meta is like such a difference from classic arena for sure.
100%, and the speed being back in at the top, you know. But I'm gonna take us to the next champion, and of course it's gonna be an orc, and it's gonna be Geralt, man. Like, I feel like This was my champion when we actually revealed the mythicals. They sent me a card, like those old cards that swap forms. So I have one with Geralt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's a lot of fun. This form is more of a support. I feel like if you're just planning to utilize this form first, and it's much harder to really get the value out of her. She has a similar passive with Leorius, if I'm not mistaken, right? The more HP she drops, the more damage she deals, and you have ally protection in here. You have other things that will make the champion to basically squeeze in damage, or that might be the other form actually.
The first form, yeah. We're the second form here, but yeah, she is, honest to God, she is one of the hardest hitting nukers in the entire game, bar none. Like, she requires a decent amount of setup to make it happen, but if you get her with buffs and if you get her low health, I have literally seen her obliterate entire teams with Taurus, Marichka, Necrit, all of them. I've seen her wipe people out. It's just you have to get her set up to make it happen.
Yeah, and the thing with her is the passive, this champion has a 25% chance to team up with them and join their attack. So she's so fun. That's what I love the most about this champion. When we actually reviewed the first mythicals, she was my number one out of all. If I was making a top 5, just constantly jumping with that A1 and just messing people up. So much fun. Not just good, but fun as well. Like, I honestly had fun playing this champion.
It's fun when she's on your team and she's slamming somebody 5 times in a row with an A1, but when you're facing her and she's doing it to you, you're pulling your hair out screaming like, why is this happening to me?
And she's so strong for Hydra too, like crazy damage actually.
Oh yeah, so good. Let's pop over to Sylvan Watchers, I think. Yeah,
Sylvan Watchers, absolutely. Yeah. So that is champion number 16, guys. Rank 16. Just
rank 16. We got to go with Arbas. We got to go with another mythical.
Is not Lady of Irate?
Lady who?
Lady of Irate.
Oh, Lady of Irate. Oh my God. I've literally blocked her from my memory for a second there. I was like, wait, who? Who is this? Yeah, definitely not Lady of Irith. Such an incredible champion, by the way.
Yeah.
No, it's Arbas. It's Arbas the Stonethorn. And frankly, you see this champion quite a bit now. She's such a good Rotos counter. She has the ability to taunt, to place Stone Skin on herself. She also can petrify in her first form. I mean, and she looks sick. Like, super cool artwork, of course. But yeah, she is a really, really, really solid champion. Can keep your team alive a lot longer, can heal them, and can make sure that even like people like Taurus, like with that taunt buff, you're stuck hitting her instead of hitting other people on non-AoE skills. That's really, really powerful.
Very strong, actually. Yeah. And you have the block active skills too, which can stop Taurus from counter-attacking as well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Is
like
solid,
her biggest challenge, I think, in the current meta is just the polymorph stuff. You know what I mean? Like, that's obviously the challenge with her, because even on her stone form, in her second form, she puts a decreased speed.
Yep.
So you have to be careful about that. But frankly, if you don't build her with a lot of accuracy for high level arena, she can really, really control the narrative in the fight. Solid champ.
100%. Yeah, 100%. Then I'm gonna take it to one of the most terrifying champions that we are seeing in live arena. Rank 15, guys. We have the one and only Georgid. Okay. I know some of you might be like, Skratch, don't you think Georgid deserves to be higher? The thing with Georgid, he's amazing, but he needs support to stay alive. And I feel like if you're banning the right support from that team, he drops a bit in value and it's easier to kill him. But if you are building this bad boy right, my God, he is a force to reckon with. Like, I don't recall any other champion in the game to hit as hard. Plus, he literally ignores everything known by humankind. That's how badass he is,
He's one of the scariest champions to face. And I think you're absolutely right, Skratch. You know what I mean? Like, he does incredible damage. He can wipe an entire team. The biggest thing with Georgid is if you don't have Necrit, if you don't have other things to protect him, he is so squishy. He is the definition of a glass cannon.
Yeah.
And you can counter that. You know what I mean? That's the one thing. Like, if he had more health, if he had more survivability, he would absolutely be probably in my top 5, because he is by far one of the most terrifying champions to face, but you just got to set him up to make it happen.
Yeah, that's definitely right. I usually just ban Necrit if they come as a package, and then I deal with him slowly. But the good part now is that we can build Stone Skin and Savage, so that makes quite a bit of a difference. It's actually a bit easier to keep him alive without a Necrit too. What's number 14? Top 14 champion for live arena.
I mean, this champion is the bane of my existence, certainly the bane of many people's existence in Classic Arena, and you see him a lot in Live Arena. It's the one, it's the only UDK. Ultimate Death
Absolutely.
Knight. Ugh. I mean, I'll say this: he's truly been a meta-changing champion from the moment he was introduced to the game. You know what I mean? He's an incredible Rotos counter. He's an incredible Cifi counter. He's an incredible everything that doesn't have a double hitter counter, and he is so frustrating to play against because he's always built insanely slow with multiple reaction pieces. You just cannot kill the dude. You can't block his passes because of polymorph. I mean, he's a really good champion, and everybody has him. So you see him all the time for sure.
100%, man. Like, he's just that champion that's completely changing your team and can be so freaking annoying because he stops so many things, and he empowers so many other champions. Honestly, I really think that he really empowers a lot more rich character, us, for example, and many other champions in the game, because he's just so strong.
It's that passive, his passive, the ability to make sure you can't hit anybody else. And then the fact, this is the thing that drives me nuts. I don't know about you, Skratch, but he heals. He heals when you heal. You can't kill the dude. He just keeps healing. It drives me crazy.
He is pretty annoying. And then he has, did I need them? They die, I'm getting stronger, basically. But he's definitely a force to reckon with. I feel like the Undead have a lot of strong champions for Live Arena. And our top 13 champion, guys, is actually from here. And is Necret.
Yeah, it's like his buddy.
Yeah,
his buddy.
Exactly. They're best friends, they're literally best friends, and he was such a game changer when they introduced him in the game. He's the one champion that completely killed Hegemon ages ago. Of course, since then, Stone Skin and Reaction killed him even more, but Necret is the one that really put Hegemon in his place. Having the ability to protect one champion, one nuker, and give him immunity, and keep him alive no matter what the heck hits him, is like, wow. Like, the only champion that can really break through it, I feel like, is Georgid, Georgid is the one and only that can just smack that champion that's getting protected most of the times. But other than that...
Georgid, definitely the number one choice typically to go through his stuff, without a doubt.
Yeah.
That, and also I would say a couple of the mythicals they've introduced, they're starting to try to counter him more. You can tell in like the recent meta that they've really thought about like, okay, how do we beat Necret? How do we introduce champions to beat Necret? But he's still so good, man. Ally attack, keeping champions alive. You can put him in cruelty for a blessing, and with his 3-hitting A1, you can literally knock down somebody like Harima's defense if you have a 6-star blessing by 24% in the space of 2 turns. I mean, that is incredible. He just has so much versatility in the game. Just a really solid champ.
Yeah, I love him. I'm so... You know what? When I actually summoned for him was in the first weekend when they introduced him. And I wanted Hegemon, bro. I wanted Hegemon so bad at that moment in time.
I remember that. You were dying for Hegemon.
I don't even know why, but I just wanted him because he was that champion that kind of like clicked my brain. But I got Necret, and I was like, my God, thank you, because I destroyed all the Hegemons after. I was like, revenge. Revenge.
You never forget the first time you faced a Necret in Arena. I'll never forget it. I faced him when I was younger in Raid. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, I can't kill. It was a Septimus, weirdly enough, and I couldn't kill him. Yeah. And I was like, dude, this champion is broken. He's filthy.
What do we have on top 12, Drock?
Top 12. It's an oldie. It's a goodie. It's our boy Rotos. I mean, we are just sticking in the undead here, apparently.
Seems
but
like that's it.
A lot of people think that Rotos was power crept, obviously, and I would say that obviously he has more counters now. But like, this guy is still so good. I mean, if he gets rolling, he's absolutely terrifying.
I was gonna say,
right?
I was gonna say, like, I'm terrified of Rotos, especially just knowing that I can lock him. He can just go A1, extra turn, A3, kill me, A2, bang, and I'm like, what the heck just happened? I'm out of here, basically.
Like,
and
getting hit by a freight truck. He just doesn't stop. Like, he really is a champion, especially with that combo with Cifi. You can just do absolutely insane stuff in Arena. Still so strong, still so good. And I think he's a champion again that you still see all the time. And he's been balanced. Like, he's been nerfed multiple times since the introduction, but he's still there, baby. He's hanging on. He's undead.
Honestly, on the first nerf, he wasn't looking like he's performing that good in that meta that we had back then, So a lot of people were disappointed, including myself. And slowly just picked up back, man. Like Cifi double Rotos, Cifi Rotos, you know, they became so strong, and the meta's changing for the last couple of years. They just constantly just empower them and empower them and empower them. So yeah, Rotos, I feel like he's still one of those champions that easy to keep him alive, you know, and then he's just so strong once he starts popping, you know, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely. Still top tier for sure.
Yep. So I'm actually gonna take us all the way down back to the Shadowkin. So right here we have quite a few awesome champions to in this faction. And
like Jing Wong. Obviously the best champion in the entire game. Incredible champ.
I thought that we were talking about Tatsu, no?
Yeah, Tatsu. Oh, God help me.
I think Jingwon is better than Tatsu, but we're gonna go at Suzanne, the Valorous, guys. She came in like a storm, bugged, broken, you know, and not in a good way, but they fixed her. So basically, this champion, I'm glad that they recorrected the text here, because that really bugged me off and bugged people off. Was not an extra turn. Yeah.
Yes. Same.
Not extra turn, this is an instant turn. So I'm glad that they've corrected this. And having the ability to make this champion super fast. You have the speed aura from the champion to 30%, one of the best in Arena, right? And then just giving your nuker an instant turn, guys. And buffing the increased attack and crit rate, and I think crit damage too, if I'm not mistaken, is just game-changing. And then is the only champion in the game that can remove polymorph. Now, I don't really think that that's wow to remove the polymorph from a champion. It can be helpful, don't get me wrong, but I feel like everything else in her kit is better than that part, you know? That's how good she is.
Completely agree. Like, her ability to slow you down, put decreased speed, speed up your own team, and then also just that instant turn. When you think about comboing that with Georgia, you think about comboing that with Taras. I mean, she is so powerful in Arena. The only thing that slows her down is polymorph. That's it. Like you know, like that A3 that increases your turn meter and decreases the enemy's turn meter. I have had fights, Skratch, where other teams haven't even taken a turn, like over the course of like 6 rounds, where I'm just pounding them with Suzanne and Taras or Georgia or anybody else. They never even get a turn. She's that good. And also underrated part of her kit too
is that A1.
That A1 is
I was
so
waiting to see if you say it, yeah, or if not, I was gonna say it.
It's so good and it's so underrated, because you have an ability there to prevent other champions from doing basically anything. And again, like you just said, stopping Taras from doing counterattacks. So powerful.
Yeah, very, very good champion, actually. Yeah. What do we have on top 10? What's our number 10 champion?
Top 10. Well, you know what? You mentioned him earlier, and obviously he's still really, really good. And we got to go with Warlord. We got to go with Warlord. I think Warlord, you know, like, what can he not do, right? He's locking you out. He's also decreasing turn meter, which is very underrated part of that. It's super annoying. If you build him extremely fast, you can prevent enemy teams not only from using their skills, but also from ever taking turns. And the other thing about his kit that I think people really sleep on, he heals. He heals. The dude heals. And that is so useful if you've got him built with a lot of HP. First off, you can combo him with Taras to get more buffs, but also you can keep people alive. So he's still top 10 for me for sure.
Yeah, I think he's still very, very scary. True, Mythicals dropped a bit the power of lockout champions, but I feel like they're still there, and it's just so easy to control the other ones when you have them. You know, I feel like they're just too good, and they definitely make people question what champions they're bringing against them. You know, what
definitely,
do we have?
It's one you got to think about it for sure.
Yeah,
it's you. It's all you, baby.
It's all me. So rank 9, guys. Top 9, of course, is gonna be another lockout, and is going to be Yumeko. I'm actually saving my voice for this one. I'm kind of like slowly trying to snipe her off. But Yumeko, man, like, for Classic Arena, she's just so powerful, right? Because she doesn't actually attack when she's increasing the duration of skills on the enemy. And just having the Hex as well, and the option to reflect back the polymorph is wow, you know, is a very good thing. Thermimeter manipulation on the A1, accuracy aura, which kind of like takes a dump on the high resistance teams, because I haven't seen the craziest high resistance champion to resist the craziest high accuracy Yumeko, except Mitrala, of course, but is wow, you know. Maybe a +4, 6-star Crixia now will be able to do it, because you're getting all the stats on her. But other than that, man, it's just so hard to resist this beauty, you know?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, she's gorgeous, and not just in artwork, but also in the game for sure. You're absolutely right. You know what I mean? The Fox Queen is still an absolute nightmare to face, locking you out, and that polymorph reflect is so underrated. You can just do nasty things to people's team, especially in high level arena where it seems like every champion has 6-star polymorph, of which I am also guilty. But I mean, yeah, she is really solid and absolutely deserves to be in the top 10 in my opinion for sure.
Yeah, definitely don't disagree on that. What do we have on rank 8? I feel like people will love us. People
Oh,
will
they're
love
gonna
us right
love
now.
this. They're
Yeah,
gonna love this because you know what? It's monkey time, baby.
yeah.
Bust out the bananas. It's our boy. It's Sung Wukong.
Chuck,
And
chuck the bananas.
just throw him up in the air because he makes me go bananas in arena. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that much. He makes me go bananas
I was
because
gonna say, yeah.
yeah, someone's got to say it. This dude just has so much versatility. I mean, what can he not do? Like he's a free champion, right? Everybody's got him, and he does it all. He can do incredible damage on his A2, wipe an entire team, just absolutely obliterate them. He can stun you on the A1, which is just crazy and a very high chance to stun too.
Mhm.
Or he can take all your buffs away on the A3 and block them and counter people like Taras. And oh, by the way, he never dies.
Yeah.
If he dies, he comes right back. You know what I mean? You don't have to revive him at all. So I think without a doubt, his versatility and just the different things that he can do, he is an incredible champion and absolutely, I mean, you see him all the time in high level arena for sure.
Yeah, man, I totally agree with you on this. And having one of the best speed auras in the game too, like this is the third best, right? We have 32%, 30, and 28. Is massive too, and the versatility on the champion, how you mentioned it, you know, like yes, probably some people are like Skratch. Why is now UDK higher than him? I mean, UDK is amazing. UDK is much better for classic arena than for live arena, in my opinion. And Wukong countering him is like, yeah, the versatility, the damage, the support build, whatever you want to do, reviving because he wants to, you know, like he wants to
Yeah.
put the bananas up in the air, you know, like yeah, he's gonna do it, man. Like he's just too good, yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you got a high accuracy Wukong, and that UDK doesn't matter anymore. You know, he becomes a sheep, and we
Yeah.
all know how I feel about sheep. Skratch. We both feel the same way about sheep.
Yeah, I
we
love them.
Obviously, we
I
love
love
sheep.
them. I love them.
Yeah.
I love them. Then we have rank number 7, guys. I feel like this is a strong champion, and not only because she is bringing in damage. We just really think that the power that she has, countering so many champions, stopping so many champions from completely wrecking you with her passive, because we live in a world where ignore defense is king. Well, we need a queen to deal with that. So we have Harima on the list, guys. Not only that she's super strong against demon spawns, okay, but she brings you decreased attack. Then she brings you a triple hit that drops the defense on the enemy, increases her own defense. And if you kill somebody, she instantly activates the A3, which provokes. Now, this provoke is not going to be the best thing if you're hitting on polymorph, but against demon spawns, it can come in hand so much every now and then, you know. And is this passive, man? Enemy ignore defense effects are decreased by 50%. You put Helicat in here, a Cifi, and whatever else you want to, and they're so annoying that they drive you nuts, you know?
Yeah. That passive is one of the best in the entire game. I mean, it is just incredible what it can do to keep a team alive, to make you last longer. I mean, that and the fact that she gets stronger throughout the fight too with her A2, right?
Yeah.
Like, she's increasing her own defense. She's weakening the enemy team. They can't stop it. There's no way to stop her from doing that. And oh, by the way, if she kills someone, then she's nuking you too. I mean, Harima is just nuts. And also, another underrated thing about her is people don't realize, surprisingly, because of her affinity, she actually is a good Sung Wukong counter for damage. Sung Wukong, because of that passive. Just awesome. You were right when you said she was your queen. She's my queen too. She's everybody's queen.
She's definitely a good champion, and keep staying alive, you know, countering Rotos and many other Magic champions is actually massive. 100%. Love Harima. What do we have on rank 6? Let's see.
We got to throw her in here. She's still top tier. She's in almost every single live arena fight that you see. It's Duchess.
Yeah.
I mean, who's surprised, right? Like, Duchess has been the absolute rock for revivers for such a long time because she does basically everything. She's got a speed aura. She blocks any type of debuff. She hides champions with her full res, and without a doubt, in almost every single live arena fight, you're gonna see her in there. Like, she is ubiquitous. She's everywhere, and she's still really, really good in the meta, even after being around in the game for years.
Yeah, 100%. She's definitely a solid one. I feel like it's pretty hard to get very high resistance in the game, so the accuracy kind of like tends to win most of the fights, you know, because it's just the way the game is balanced. But I feel like a good high resistance Duchess can still do a lot of work, and if you don't have her on high resistance, it's a bit harder to get the most value out of her, especially if they bring a lockout against you. But it really depends how you're planning your team. But she's still definitely one of the top because of everything that she brings in her kit, you know. 100%.
Yeah, she's hard to kill. She makes your team harder to kill. She's really, really good. It's Duchess.
So I'm gonna go over to the next one, and that's my most wanted mythical champion for the moment. Crixia, Night Queen Crixia. She is top 5, guys. Rank 5, number 5 for live arena in our opinion. And the reason why she's not higher than this is because polymorph. Okay, polymorph really stops her initial form. Magic champions counter her a bit because you can get weak hits. But overall, being able to decrease resistance, block buffs, lock everybody, remove their buffs, then just swap form to the other one. So if they're bringing a lockout against you, you know, I actually asked someone from Plarium, what's the counter for lockout champions? Crixia. So Crixia swaps form. She goes over to the next one. And guess what she does? Decreases the cooldown of all of the enemy, of all of the ally skills, sorry. That is like a reset. It's Kymar and Yumeko together, but in 2 different forms. And my god, she looks like a beast. I love her. I want her.
I want you to get her. You deserve her, Skratch. I've got 2 of her. I wish I could lend one to you, you know, to test her out, because she is as good as you say. I mean, she really does do it all. She cleanses. She blocks the buffs. She locks out. She resets. I mean, she also has incredible speed in her second form if you build her with high resistance because of her passive. So
yeah,
you're getting back through her skills way faster than you would think. You can have a 500 speed Night Queen Crixia with god tier gear. It is absolutely possible. She is so good. And like you said, the only thing that slows her down is a combo of polymorph and weak hits. That's it. That's it. Scary. Scary good.
I know you think I deserve her, but Plarium thinks I don't deserve her, and that's because I haven't spent enough on primals, you know?
Yeah, see, that's like, Skratch, just gotta spend a little more money, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Just gotta, you know, buy them shards. Just eat those shards, and Daddy Plarium will come down and say you've been a good boy and give you a sweet little Crixia. It's gonna happen, I believe.
Pretty much.
All right, number 4.
Number 4. What do we have? Who is it?
I mean, what a surprise. It's Marichka.
Maneater, bro. I was ready to go to Maneater.
Maneater, yeah.
I've heard about her.
Yeah, you might have seen her in Classic Arena once or twice. You know what I mean?
I think she's just making kind of like an introduction to Live Arena now. You know, like in a few games here and there. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, it's not like you see this champion in every single fight, but yeah, you do. You see her in every fight because she's incredible. I mean, she is an incredible support champion, even without Taras. Even if you don't have the duo, what she does by herself is so powerful with her heal, her shield, her strengthen. That protected strengthen buff is so much better than people realize at keeping your team alive. She's got a speed aura. She cleanses. She boosts your turn meter. And also she can ally attack.
And extra turn if she cleanses enough.
Turn. Exactly. And that's also, speaking of extra turn, if you build her in Relentless, I mean, she goes on an absolute rampage. So it's no surprise that she is as good as she is. She's dominated the game for the last year. And oh, by the way, can she res your entire team every single time she dies?
And no matter what, she can get locked, and she can get. Yeah, I think she can. Yeah.
yeah.
I think
she can do that. She can do that. Oh, and the block damage, we forgot that too. You want to try to throw a bomb on her if she's in Stowskin? Forget about it, Skratch, because she's blocking the damage. She's bonkers.
You want to bring Mitrala against her? I mean, she might land a poison, block damage. You know, like all this can just mess you up. She's very, very strong.
Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Top 3, guys. Here we go. I feel like all of you have been waiting for this moment. Number 3 champion, Lazarius, Mythical Champion. My god, I've told you he's a beast over champion, this bad boy. He might not have the craziest multipliers out there, but he does have better multipliers than the other Mythicals. And man, I can't even remember on which form he does all the moves. Block debuffs, attacks all enemies, decreases the duration of all buffs on enemies by 2 turns. So this cannot get polymorphed if you have the accuracy, which I would probably suggest you not to stress about it. Fills the thermometer of all allies. This is the support part, right? Increase attack, strengthen. But then when you are moving over to the next part, you have the speed aura, 25%, a bit better than Marichka. And then the damage, which ignores shield, ignores increased defense, removes all debuffs from the champion, then increases the attack, the more debuffs you're removing. And then on top of it is the passive that actually locks the skills of enemies, guys. Okay, so it's kind of like having a warlord dealing damage, you know? That's how nasty he is. And he can kill. He can kill.
He's legitimately terrifying to face. I think he's one of the hardest champions in the game right now to counter if built correctly. In live arena specifically, like, you know, there are a couple things you can do, and obviously he's not a void, thank God. But it's like at the high level, he is the most frustrating champion that I face without a doubt. He's also like, you want a Night Queen Crixia? I am praying, please God, give me this lizard, because at high level, it is so hard when you have to pick, like when he gets picked, because that means somebody else has got another god tier champion that you're having to let in the fight, because you have to ban him. You have to ban him. He is so freaking good. And I mean, like, I've seen this dude annihilate entire teams. Then he locks you out, like you said, and he buffs himself. That's the other thing too. Like, he switches forms and he buffs himself, right?
Yeah.
Just absurd. He's absurd.
And the good part about him as well is that his other form gets locked. The one that's not as relevant for damage.
Yes.
And then he swaps forms and then he nukes you down, you know?
That's absolutely what makes him so hard to counter, because you can't lock those attack-based skills. And there's also the other thing too, if somebody builds him in Stone Skin, for example, like if you have Stone Skin and Savage on him, which is in my opinion like the god tier build or lethal in Stone Skin, you can't reduce his turn meter with Warlord. So he's going to take that second turn and he's going to nuke your entire team. And oh, by the way, he ignores increased defense buffs. Like, he's just going to go right through you like a hot knife through butter.
Yep. Like they're not even there.
Yeah. He's incredible. Incredible
Top 2,
champion.
bro. Top 2. Number 2.
Top 2.
Who's number
Top
2?
2. It's our boy. It's our boy Taras. I mean, unquestionably one of the most broken champions in the game with how good he is, because he does
so
basically
many things.
Everything that a nuker should do. You can't kill him because of his passive. You can't, like,
50%.
you can't.
Look at it.
He reduces all damage. He deals out absolutely a bonkers AoE. I'll never forget the first time I faced him. I didn't know what was happening. The hand of God came down. I was like, what the hell just happened? And my whole team was dead.
You got touched by the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, the Holy Spirit messed me up, because he is an incredible champion. And also, you think about like combining that synergy with Marichka, he gets even better. I mean, there's no part of his kit that is not absolutely absurdly strong. And I think one of the most underrated parts of what he does is, if you're trying to kill him with attack-based nukers, you better do it quick, because by the way, he decreases their ability to actually hurt you by decreasing their attack. That's insane. It's insane.
He does a lot of things. He does a lot of things. He's just too good, you know. He's just too good. And I really hope that the new Void that was added to the game, he will put him a bit back in his place, but no chance, unfortunately.
Yeah,
no
somebody who pulled the new Void, I don't hold your breath.
Yeah, like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And then we have top 1, ladies and gentlemen, and probably some of you guys might have guessed by now, because you haven't seen her in the list so far, and that is Cifi, the Lost Bride. Funny enough, some of you guys might be wondering, Skratch, why do you think, you and Drock, why do you guys think that she's the number 1? Well, when you are doing a live arena match in the higher tier, the first pick for every single person is literally like a religious cult. Everybody picks Cifi.
Yeah.
They pick Cifi, no questions asked.
99% of the time, that is who you're picking, because she does it all, Skratch. She does it all. You know? I mean, she reses, she blocks buffs, or debuffs, she has the ability to irresistibly sleep you. She heals every single turn. She speeds you up. She increases defense. I mean, she truly, like, the reason you pick her is because she is, in my opinion, one of the most impactful champions in the entire game. The most impactful, obviously, since we got her number one,
Yeah.
and it's deserved. It's
Yeah,
deserved. She is
100%.
unbelievable.
She's super, super good. And if you build her tanky enough, man, it's hard to kill. It's hard to kill her as well. As if you bring Harima in the same team with her, it's so much harder to kill her. And not to mention the rest of the champions that are following, you know, because there's just so many good champions. But this will be our top 20 ranking from 20 to 1, guys. Live arena. Skratch and Drock in the mix, baby. And I know this is something that a lot of you guys have been waiting. We do have a few shoutouts as well for a few champions, because you know what? Even though they haven't made our top 20, maybe they are top 20 for some of you guys, based on what champions you have available and what you're using, you know? So, Wukong, amazing champion. Mighty Wukong, 100% very solid. Even Leorius is very solid as well, because he's harder to kill because of the passive. Then we have, of course, Elva. Elva, she's nice too. A good counter for Agasha you were mentioning as well. And just to have that extra support, cleanse, increase speed aura, you know, healing. Very nice champion.
Hiding with that veil too. Like, you know what I mean? Definitely underrated part of her kit for sure.
Yeah, hiding Eunucher, very, very solid. Then you have Pythian, which is again a pretty good option because of the passive. And there are not that many crazy support champions in the game, so some of them are really kind of like making the list. You have Kaimar, which is very awesome too. Once Polymorph might get changed a bit, you know, that
I'm praying.
Yeah.
I pray every day for that Skratch, because definitely Kaimar will be a lot stronger if they balance Polymorph correctly, for sure.
100%. And you have Kutraxa. In it, we build properly. If you have a +4 with 6-star blessing, he can do work, you know. Mazamel, which is the mythical from here, she's a good champion to counter some specific champions too. So there are quite a few champions, guys, that didn't make the list, but they're amazing, you know. So just to kind of like give them a bit of a shout out. Drock, a pleasure to have you on the channel finally, bro. Was great collabing with you. If you want to kind of like fill us in what's happening with you, with your channel, guys, you're gonna know where to find him, because the link is in the description down below in the pinned comment. Make sure you head over and drop that subscribe. By the way, subscribing costs you nothing, so hit that button, you know. Don't be shy.
Skratch, man, like I've wanted to do a collab with you for such a long time. I respect you as a raid content creator so much, especially a guy who does a lot of arena things like I do and showcases in that regard. But yeah, man, just so awesome to finally get a chance to rap with you about the game. And in terms of like what people could expect to see from me if they've never heard of me before, it's like I'm a dirty Kraken. Let's just admit it. I'm top 7 in the live arena leaderboards with one of the highest win rates. So that's basically what you're getting if you're coming here. You're getting a lot of live arena content. You're getting a lot of laughs. But I really appreciate it, man. Just an incredible creator and a chance to get to talk raid with you. Seriously, thank you so much, bro.
A pleasure to have you on the channel, brother. And you'll be seeing more in the future, guys. But in the meantime, appreciate every single one of you guys watching. Much love, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
See you later.